Good day. Um, okay. So it's definitely a tale of two halves. Anytime you've had a week off from playing and you're in your bye week, you always have concerns about how you're going to come out. And obviously, we came out on fire and played very well on both ends of the floor in the first half. In the third quarter, especially, our ball movement was not as good. Our off the ball movement, away from the ball, was not as good. We had a lot more drive and kick in the first half, and in the third quarter and in some into the fourth quarter, I think some of that was St. Joe's making some adjustments that we didn't react well to. Um, I'm very happy with how we came out in the first half. I'm happy about the third and fourth quarter that we still found a way to win the basketball game by double digits, even though we certainly did not do well from an offensive standpoint in the third and the fourth quarter. But to give up 23 points in the third and fourth quarter, that's always a good thing. So I'm trying to take the good away from everything that happened today. And anytime you win a conference game and you're in February and you win it by double digits, you take it and you're happy with it.
I know a lot of end of games have been kind of cardiac games where every possession literally felt like it was under a microscope. To not have that at all today and have it be as relatively stress free as it can be given the circumstances, how pleased are you with that?
I actually, it was nine with about a minute or so to go. And by no means did we relax because they shoot the three well enough that they can hurt you there. And we certainly were not scoring the ball. And I think they only had two or three fouls at that point, so they can be very aggressive. And so we also wanted to learn from our previous games where we've made some mistakes late. Amaya went to go take the ball out. Amanda Kalen was very smart in saying, no, I'm going to take the ball out. And we liked that. And then we advanced the ball after St. Joe's called a timeout. We then called the timeout to advance it. Still not perfect with our sideline out of bounds. We had a turnover there a little earlier. But again, anytime you win a conference game, you're happy, and especially when it's in February.
Out of curiosity, I remember you said you went to a different lineup to begin the second quarter or the last home game, and you had Libby out there with Amaya, Kirsten, Precious, and Angela. Was there any reason for experimentation there? Was there anything behind that at all?
Okay, so it was Libby,
It was Libby, Amaya, Kirsten, Precious, and Angela.
That's a lineup where it would be we can go individually. Libby is so valuable, you don't want to take her off the floor unless you have to. Kirsten Elliott, you're trying to give her as much minutes as you can because Kirsten is very valuable to us. She is a very good defender and had a very good game today and should have played more minutes. Amaya played a lot more minutes today and was a very good defender, and you want to continue to prepare her as a freshman for everything that's going to happen as we get later into February. Precious, it was not her day today. That's probably about the worst that Precious has played in a game, and I don't expect that to be something that will continue. Just wasn't her day. Didn't have a good feel for it, and then Ange is a situation where we wanted to have Ange try to gain some confidence. Ange is struggling shooting the ball a little bit. She's got to get a little bit better there. She's got to be better off the ball, moving without the ball. She was just okay in doing that, but what she did well today is she played with great energy, and I believe she had 6 rebounds. She had 6 rebounds, including 2 offensive rebounds in the 9 minutes that she played. What's that lineup for collectively? It's for us to build for the rest of February because we're the last 2 weeks of February. We literally do not have a day off. We're going to need every player. All 9 of those kids are going to have to play significant, important minutes because we've got a very tough stretch, and we don't have exactly all the creature comforts that other Atlantic 10 teams do with travel. So we've got to have all 9 ready to go.
You mentioned Angela's rebounds. That was actually the highest she's had in the year 2020, actually. She did that in 9 minutes. You mentioned confidence. Can she at least look at that as the positive in 9 minutes? She was able to grab those 6 rebounds and, like you said, 2 offensive.
Well, I think she'll find some confidence there, and that'll be good, but, Ange is not gonna get total confidence until she starts making some shots, and the way she has to do that is she's gotta get in the gym more. And she's gotta be in the gym, and she can't be the last regular, in the gym like she was this morning. It's an optional shoot around, and she's the last one in there. She needs to be the first one. When you're not shooting at a high percentage and you haven't scored a bucket in 5 or 6 games, you can't be last. You need to be first. And so, we're gonna continue to work with Ange on that, and, hopefully she'll be in there on her own and, getting her stroke back, because she has a beautiful shooting mechanics and shooting stroke. And for us to have success late in February and early in March, it's going to be imperative that she's on and shooting the ball well.
We've talked about maturity before. Laya was kind of trapped in the corner just before the paint, and she couldn't find a defender, and she was able to call that timeout, and you praised her for that. Just how important, what is that kind of a play for her maturity as she continues?
It's important that they know that they can call a timeout to save us a possession. That was a very smart play by her, and I try to empower all the players that they can call a timeout in that kind of situation, and so I was glad to see that Laya did that tonight.
As you move forward to the road, you can call it a winning streak. Now, I'm not going to ask you about the next opponent because I'd be a fool to do that, but I will ask you about how it is just to have the winning streak again and be able to maintain that possibly moving forward.
I don't even know what the winning streak is.
2.
It is? Oh, okay.
Wait,
yeah.
it's 2. I'm sorry, it's not
It's
2.
2,
It's
or
it's 2.
So, how many have we won, Ryan?
Oh, just 3? Okay,
It's
I read
3.
wrong. See, I'm discrediting you.
Yeah, give us a little bit more credit. We literally do take it game by game. I know that we play Richmond because we have some very difficult travel with our classes and with the way our practices are, and we're trying to adjust some things right now. And Richmond is going to be a tough game. They are very well coached, and the way they're playing is very physical and very tough, and we will have our hands full on Wednesday. The next week is going to really determine a lot about our season, with going on the road to Richmond and then getting back at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and going to class on Thursday and Friday, and then having to go down to Davidson, which is another really good opponent. The next week's going to really determine a lot in our season.
You mentioned with the start to the strong start, all the first 12 points were all scored in the paint, and 4 out of the 5 starters all scored during that stretch. Just how important was that, just rotating the ball, cutting exceptionally, and being able to have the teammates get themselves involved?
Yeah, we were 12 for 12, and then we finished with only 20 points in the paint. And you have to credit St. Joe's on that. They changed, and instead of overplaying so much and allowing us to get those back doors, they played off us a little bit better and were much better defensively after that. And they did a nice job in the post. Laya was 4 for 10, but it didn't feel that way. She finished with 12 and 4 points and had 3 steals to her credit. But I didn't think she had her best day today, and I really believe that St. Joe's had something to do with that. I thought they defended her well. Thank you for supporting women's basketball. Appreciate you being here.